What is going on, everybody? Welcome to part one of the Naughty Dog Week takeover of the Kinda Funny gameplay streams. My name is Barrett Courtney. Here, joined with me for part one is none other than Tim motherfucking Geddes, playing some Crash Bandicoot. Tim, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm very excited for this. I'm excited for your project coming out on Friday.
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing. I've seen little bits and pieces and I know about it, and I'm more excited for this than I think I've been for any of your prior projects. And a lot of that's because I've seen your prior projects. So I know how good this is going to be because of those. But on top of that, I just love Naughty Dog so much. Going all the way back to Crash Bandicoot, the original one.
Yep.
If I'm being honest, I haven't played any Naughty Dog game pre-Crash Bandicoot. I know a couple exist.
Yes, a few, more than you would expect to exist. Yeah. I know there have been a lot of questions about if I will talk about anything pre-Crash Bandicoot, and for that, you'll have to check out the video to find out. So we're starting off Naughty Dog Week. If you missed it, yes, this Friday on youtube.com/kindafunnygames exclusively, I will be premiering my new video essay titled "I Replayed Every Naughty Dog Game," and that title I went with because it's not really an in review. There's not like a ranking in it. It's more about the journey. So I was just like, what's the simplest way to convey what this video is?
Also, though, I feel like that's a fairly trendy framing that people have been using recently. And like, I go down rabbit holes almost every weekend of just watching somebody like
very simple. I
did this thing, and I'm like, all right, cool. Well, I need to know what your thoughts are.
It also gave me when I think it like dawned on me a couple weeks ago. It's like it gives very much Kojima of like, I watched this movie.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, but I love that stuff. So yeah, I'm excited to hear what you have to say. Having replayed all these games now, like what you have to say about that. You know, if you're not ranking them necessarily, what is going to be the content?
What is the journey?
It's going to be good, but yeah, it's funny. I'm a little sad because I bought a OG Naughty Dog shirt for this, and it didn't come in time. But I forgot what the website was, but they put up because it's the 30th, 40th anniversary of Naughty Dog? Probably 30th.
30th sounds
makes
right.
Sense. And so they put up a shirt that was like the OG dog.
It might be 40th actually, because they were called something else. I think Jam Software is what they were called before they changed the name to Naughty Dog. And I want to say they were around in the 80s, so it might be 40th. And then Crash 1 came out in 96. And I think they
was it 96? Really?
Crash 1, yeah.
Really?
Crash 1, 96, Crash. I know this because what I'm about to say is verbatim a line that I have in the videos. Crash 1 in 96, Crash 2 in 97, and Crash 3 in 98.
Yeah, that's why. I mean,
and then CTR in 99.
Thinking about the 96, that throws me off a bit because obviously I was a little kid at that point. Yeah. Like 96, I would have been 6. Yeah. So
I was 1.
I didn't really have any understanding of like timing of games coming out, but I would have thought, because I know 96 is Nintendo 64 and Mario 64.
Yes.
So Crash Bandicoot is like, whereas the PS launch was 94.
Yeah.
I would have always thought Crash was a little closer to PS launch, right?
Yeah. That's interesting that like I didn't put together that the PS1 was a couple of years earlier than that.
It might have been December though, 94, if I remember correctly. So, but even
like a
then,
year and a half. Yeah. That is something I will talk about a little bit in the Crash 1 segment of the video. Is like it kind of dawned on me of like how interesting it is that this came out like 3 weeks before Mario 64 came out in the US of like, and thinking about the Naughty Dog games after Mario 64 and all that stuff. And yeah, I definitely get into that kind of headspace of just like the interesting back and forth of like the 3D platformer of that era.
Totally, we'll get to the game in a second, but Crash Bandicoot was one of the first real video games that I ever played out of like self-interest, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you know, growing up, if you could play a video game, you play the video game. Yeah. It's like whatever you at the
This was one that like you were drawn to.
This was one that was, I mean, and I guess it is the same story of what I just said, but one of the rare times that it wasn't a babysitter situation, but it was more of just like hang out with a slightly older kid situation after school. You know what I mean? Like, like watch each other type thing. There was this girl that was like 2 years younger than me, but she had an older sister that was like 2-3 years older than me.
Okay.
So I would go to their house and all of us would just kind of watch each other, I guess. And the older sister had a PlayStation and Crash Bandicoot, and I was obsessed with it because I loved 2D Mario more than anything. I didn't have an N64, so I played Mario 64 and had my mind blown at like Toys R Us and stuff at the demo kiosk, but it wasn't a couple of years until I actually got to play through that. So Crash Bandicoot to me was the actual realization of the promise of 2D platformers in 3D.
Yes.
Mario 64 is such a different thing,
Yep.
but the get from point A to point B, there's
A
obstacles.
very linear path.
Yeah. So,
yeah, it's a similar situation. Not so much the kids watching other kids situation, but yeah, I didn't have a PlayStation 1 growing up. Yeah, we'll do Crash 2 just because we've played Crash Bandicoot 1 plenty on stream. You can do a new game, whatever you want there. But yeah, I had a babysitter who lived close to my mom's back in Lakewood, Ohio, and yeah, she had a PlayStation 1, and she had Crash Warped. From what I like clearly remember, and that was like, she might have had the other ones as well, but like Crash Warped was like the one that I remember the most, and that was like kind of like my ability to view what games were outside of just the N64. Which I forget at that point if I had an N64. Global save file is corrupt. Oh no!
What the fuck?
That's.
I know it's fine. You don't care, but what the actual
I've
fuck?
never seen this before.
This is not okay. This is simply not okay. Wow.
That's crazy.
And y'all saw what I did. That was nothing. What?
All right.
If we really just deleted.
There's a cloud save, so that it should be fine in theory. So yeah, just go. It's fine.
Wow.
So yeah, I think I played Crash 1 and 2 eventually. I forget where. But I definitely played them before the Insane trilogy came out back in 2017, which you and I were just kind of talking about right before we got started get going. And it's crazy to me that was 8 years ago at this point.
I know. It's really crazy, man, because you know, the origins of Kind of Funny, me Save the Bandicoot screaming it, and then when this got announced, it was so like insane.
Really quick, I love that like he falls down and it is the overworld map for the first game.
Yep.
Those little details right there. The crystals.
Dude, I mean, all the voice, like the lines in the cutscenes here, they're seared into my brains. And the opening shots of like the presented by Naughty Dog.
Yeah.
There's so much personality, man.
Cortex voice actor. I remember the original voice actor. Let's see. Yeah, it was Clancy Brown in Crash 2 when he started actually having voice lines.
Which is amazing.
But I don't think it's Clancy Brown in this.
No, it's starts with an N, I think.
Okay.
Or his last name does.
Then we'll need to find an enemy.
God, this game's so ridiculously pretty.
Yeah, that's the thing, is it's like
I love the little detail because it's on PlayStation. It's Coco watching the footage of Nathan and Elena playing.
It's so good.
Crash 1. And it's cool that they were able to like make that kind of synergy happen.
Yeah.
Especially with this now being an Activision game and now an Xbox game.
Charbuck says, it sucks there isn't a way to play the originals on modern consoles. I still prefer the original Crash 2 over the Insane version, especially the goated soundtrack. That is one of the complicated things with these type of remakes, where on one hand, I absolutely love this game and everything that it did. And on the soundtrack, there's actually some parts that I prefer the new version.
Yeah.
But a big thing for me is nailing the color vibes of a game when you remake it. And I think this game fails at that, entirely. Like, there's something like dark, like there's a lot of really deep blacks in the originals, that like shadows, whereas this is the complete opposite.
Yeah, it like fully details the world in ways that like, I think for today works, but like looking back on the originals, it's like, oh man, there's definitely a vibe and an energy that is lost here.
Yeah.
We're funnily enough talking about a similar situation with the homie Stu when he was in office to talk about y'all's time with Tony Hawk. We were talking about Mario Kart's Rainbow Road, like N64. Like I'd gone back to the original N64 version of that Rainbow Road for the first time in a long time, and I was like, damn, there's such a specific vibe here that is definitely lost in the recreation.
Absolutely.
Of, like, Mario Kart 8. And
it's the colors. It's like how deep and vibrant the N64 Rainbow Road is, and where it feels like color blocks next to each other.
Yeah.
Whereas like we get more of like a gradient glassy look most of the time.
And then like even off the track, like in the N64 version, it's just like pitch black, and it kind of feels like a weird like you're almost driving on like a highway in space, and especially with like the neon lights and stuff, and they like do a little bit too much, I would say, to like detail that and adapt it to modern stuff. But yeah, this definitely suffers from that a little bit as well.
Brad Banana says, I can smell my mom I can smell my mom making breakfast while I sit in my room and play this. Yeah, the Crash games were funny to me. So I played Crash 1 a lot at that friend's house.
Yeah.
But then eventually when I got the PlayStation, Crash Warped was my first one. Kevin had Crash 2. So it was this like kind of like trade of like never fully getting the experiences. Like I never beat Crash 1 until we did the stream on my birthday in 2015.
Right, that was
10 years ago.
That was the whole like. That's like a similar having Blessing finally beat Donkey Kong 64. I totally forgot that was kind of the goal with that one.
Yeah. And so yeah, I beat it then for the first time. But yeah, Crash 2 and 3 I beat many more times. And I would say growing up, undeniably, 3 was the one I rocked for. I'm like, this is mine, this is the best, this is the most creative, this is the most memorable, blah, blah, blah. As an adult going back, I think 2 is easily the better one.
It's funny, we've talked about this a lot, and I remember even back when this came out, you and I were texting back and forth, like when we got like review codes and stuff. We were both like, is Crash Warped not as good as we remember it being? And it was like, oh man, it's a little heartbreaking, but it's still like, there's still such a vibe with Crash Warped that I will definitely talk a lot about in the Naughty Dog video that I truly adore. But yeah, as a platformer, I think Crash 2 is probably the strongest of the like original trilogy here.
Yeah.
There's just like a lot of, it was just like a lot of fine tuning of Crash 1 that had a lot of great ideas that were like really close to like nailing the 2D linear 3D platformer thing that Naughty Dog was going for, but there was just a lot of like little decisions that felt just off enough where they definitely like refined that.
This is a funny dramatic thing to say, but I feel like Crash 1 was very anti-gamer. Like it fought against you a lot. Great ideas and great design and stuff, but I feel like 2 was really where they're like, all right, like let's make this more playable and enjoyable to play. You know? It's still Crash. It's still, you know, like slidey and stuff, but just the balance, I think, between 2D sections, 3D sections, running towards the camera, and gimmicks is best in 2. Whereas 1, I feel the focus is on like unnecessarily challenging platforming sections that aren't hard because they're well designed. It's what you're fighting against the controls and stuff and the gravity. So, and then 3, I think just leans way too much into the gimmicky vehicle stuff, which on one hand makes it memorable. Like it might not be as good as 2, but like I think it is.
It's a standout in its own way. I still do love the vibe of the remake though.
Yeah.
So this was something interesting, and I don't know, like, you know, we feel so much in our brains of like the in-betweens, what they don't say in like early video games and stuff in our childhood, right? Of like who Aku Aku is as a character. And it was funny going back to this and kind of like finally putting together like, oh, he's barely a character until 3.
Oh, yeah.
And for some reason, he was like such an integral part to all 3 games, but it's like, nah, he's just your like shield in the first 2, and he's like not a character whatsoever. I just think that's really funny.
Yeah.
Now, we got a lot of different themed levels, obviously, in all the Crash games. What are some of your favorites?
I mean, when you say that, like the first that jumps to mind is the Great Wall of China from Warped.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Warped, because the time travel stuff, like does have some of my favorite levels. Like even like that future city, like that Neo Tokyo looking shit was like so cool. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel like a lot of the like more lagoony ones in 2, where you're on the jet thingy, little jet ski thing.
Yeah.
I like those a lot.
Yeah, those are fun.
What about you?
Yeah, I like the future city in 3. I'm trying to think of ones from here in particular. I weirdly like the levels with. I know people find this enemy frustrating, but the levels with the bees in this one, because I like the mechanic of spin dashing underground and like traveling underground and shit. I always thought that was fun. And honestly, like the castle segments from Crash 1, I really, really like.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. There's just something about the vibe of those, and like even like the outside castle stuff as well. Like even though like some of those are
bonus levels or the
absolutely
cut levels.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like
here we go. This damn camera. Like sometimes it could just be so frustrating.
There you go. Yeah, I remember.
Oh my god, I did it again. I did it fucking again.
I remember Dornbush and I did a race for that cut level back when, I think this was a Mitchell Saltzman joint where we did like every once in a while like Let's Plays at IGN of just like random races.
I'm not giving up on this.
In like random video games. I remember the first one that I did, it was Breath of the Wild and it was Eventide Islands.
Yeah.
And it was like who could do Eventide Islands the fastest, and then it was also like if you died, you got disqualified and stuff. And I think it came down to Jose Otero and Brian Altano. I forget who won that, but yeah, I remember dying very early on in that one because that was like, I think pretty early on with Breath of the Wild, and I hadn't had a lot of hands-on time, and I'd never been to Eventide Island, so I was like, I have no fucking clue what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I forget who won the the race between Dornbush and I for the cut level in Crash 1. That was a cool level, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, it very much exemplifies
all the annoying
amount of
shit.
yeah, amount of pushback that game has. I know a lot of people hate the bees. What are your more hated enemies in the Crash games?
You know, it's been long enough that since I played through them that there aren't many jumping to mind right now. But I do feel like in Crash 1, in like one of the first levels, the one that you're going up the big ascent or whatever. Like, and the dude with
the shield.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like it can be so annoying because you're essentially trying to trick them into like not doing what they want to do, and like, oh, I hate it.
Yeah, to like kind of jump over them so they block their heads, and then you land, and then like spin attack them in front and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you're not a bouncy on the.
I am most of the time, especially like it depends on how I'm playing. Because like if I'm trying to play through to actually like beat the game, you got to worry about the lives. Because there's some levels you're just gonna die a bunch of times. So I'm like, you got to get as many lives as possible.
Yeah.
But right here, I'm just kind of cruising. I will say, I think out of everyone at Kind of Funny, I might be the person that is least equipped to play games while talking. So that's what's happening here, but it is what it is. We're vibing and having fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely feel that as well. It's one of those things where I'm like, always impressed with Andy being able to do that, especially with his mind always being in a million places at once. I'm like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
How do you hang out with chat and then play a video game and then be funny at the same time? It's crazy.
And be good at the games. Like he's
good
playing
at the game.
Very difficult games. I'm like, fuck that.
I'm 20. That's why I really like going back to Crash 1 a lot in terms of like life allocation. Like the first island and a half is so easy to get like 70 lives.
Yep.
And so like the rest of the game is kind of non-consequential and like how much you're fucking up, especially those bridge levels.
Now listen carefully. These holograms are hard to maintain.
God, as a kid, I was obsessed with this like hologram stuff and like just this kind of the level select being in this like elevator sequence. I thought was so cool. And like obviously, is it as cool as Peach's Castle? No. But like I did love. I was so excited to get to the next level. What's the theme gonna be?
Yeah. I think my like now as an adult, I really love the hub world of Crash 1 because I like kind of seeing like
Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah, it's very much that. And then also, but like Crash 3, like what you're talking about, like doing the time travel stuff where you go into like that weird like Terminator orb and shit. Like it's always so cool.
Yeah.
I've always liked these like entrance rooms too.
Yeah, they're sick.
They're so fun. Yeah, here we go.
Oh man, the depth of like jumps here. Oh,
that's why I like Crash 4 was like a lifesaver in terms of like having that little circle so you could have a better feel of the depth perception.
that is the sad thing, but also not sad at all. Very exciting. Crash 4 is just so much better.
It's so
like
better.
so much better. But I don't think it has nearly as much charm, but I think a lot of that charm just comes down to nostalgia and stuff because it does have a lot of its own charm to it too. Like just being able to play as Dingo Dial and stuff, like they had fun with that game.
Yeah, and like some of the level design in that game is fucking really fun.
Yeah.
And the abilities that you get as well, like they were able to play around a lot with like, especially like kind of using the lore of like the masks and shit like that.
Yeah.
And, like expanding upon that and using that to make like fun gameplay choices, I think was, they knew what they were doing over there.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised. I was actually seeing a tweet go around yesterday of the sales updates for this game, for Insane Trilogy, and it was like 20 million copies sold, and that was like 2 years ago.
That's crazy.
And they quote tweeted that, and they're like, can you believe that all it took was like one game not performing super well for them to just give up on this, like referring to Rumble, the MOBA thing, or mobile battle game.
Like, why is that the basis of like why you give up on a franchise? Because you put the franchise into a like game genre that it's not known for.
I know, yeah, and I'll say I don't believe that. I think it's more the Activision. That was just a tweet I saw from nobody. The reality is, I think it's more Activision getting acquired and like all of that stuff that we'll see crash again. The sales numbers are just too high.
Yeah, they're too good. A lot of it from the UK, interestingly.
Well, that's where first. I was bringing this up to Greg a couple days ago because we were talking about the Switch before Nintendo actually released their numbers, and it's like the UK is always the first data that we get.
Yep.
And a game doing well there doesn't necessarily mean much because their scale is just so different than once it gets worldwide and like starts getting everywhere else. So I feel like it's more just like an interesting thing of like, oh wow, Crash. The first time we heard Crash was doing well was when it was those UK numbers.
Right.
So we always associate like, oh, it did so well in the UK, but then you get the full numbers, like 20 million copies for Insane Trilogy. It's crazy.
People were glad the Coot was back, you know.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, this specifically this camera perspective always throws me off because it's not quite top down. It's not quite. It's like that weird in between. So like the depth perception is really fucking weird.
And add-on controls that just aren't that good. You know what I mean? Like that's just kind of again the part of what this is though. It's like they don't make games like this anymore, but this game still exists. Like.
D-Generation Max gives us a super chat. Thank you so much. And says, "Hey Barrett, do you consider including Nick in your Uncharted 2 playthrough? I feel that's Nick's game. Plus, he finished the first one here on stream. I feel like
did he end up finishing Uncharted 1?
I forget.
Because infamously, I know Nick just does not vibe with Uncharted, and
really?
Oh yeah, dude.
Huh.
And I'll never understand it. It feels like the most Nick game ever.
Interesting. Yeah, would not have pegged Nick to be kind of like not as into the Uncharted series.
Yeah.
And that's funny because for some reason I thought he played through the Uncharted games. I really want to have Greg on for Uncharted 2, purely just to kind of reminisce. Greg has such a storied history with the Uncharted series as well. And that was kind of like my original goal with these this week of streams. Was to like have people on to like do retrospectives. The biggest challenge was Jak and Daxter because it was like, I don't know how much Jak and Daxter you have played and like.
Yeah, I mean it is funny. I mean with Jak and Daxter, I've said this before on content, but Jak and Daxter was if Crash Bandicoot as a series was the first game like I kind of sought out myself, Jak and Daxter was the first game that I was like obsessed with pre-release. It was either that or, I mean, I guess technically it'd be Pokemon Gold and Silver.
Gotcha.
But I remember buying an official PlayStation magazine, and it came with the demo disc, the PlayStation, not Underground, but their discs.
Yeah.
And they had a series called PlayStation Underground that was a behind-the-scenes like documentary thing, which like back then was like, we get to see how games are made, like so special. And it was Naughty Dog showing off Jak and Daxter and how open it was. And it was the first time I ever heard you see that mountain, you can go there.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need this. Like, and that was in the post Mario 64 world for me, post Crash Bandicoot. I was bummed that it wasn't Crash. Like, I always remember being like equally hyped for Wrath of Cortex.
Oh yeah.
Crash, because who made the games didn't mean anything to me.
Right. Yeah. When you're a kid, you have no idea. You're just like, oh, this is a Crash game.
Yeah. And then I got Jak and Daxter at launch. It must have been one of the first games I got launched at. And I hated it.
Oh, wow.
hated it because it wasn't Crash, and it wasn't Mario 64. Like the gameplay was more Mario 64, but I'm like, this ain't for me. And I don't know why, but I like really just held that against it, and I never really went back to it in a real way. I beat it, but I feel like I owe Jak and Daxter
a true fair shot.
Yeah, and I just feel like at some point they're gonna like put out a better remaster version somehow.
Yeah, I would hope that for the Jak games. But yeah, for Jak and Daxter, I actually thought of. Because, when I was thinking about it, I was like, I don't know if anybody here outside of, obviously we know the homie Janet Garcia who loves Jak and Daxter.
Yeah, I associate Jak with her for sure.
Yes. But then I came on the idea of, like, maybe one of the streams I do is actually introducing someone to a series. And I quickly thought of Blessing for Jak and Daxter because a part of my analysis of Jak and Daxter in the video is, it being... their PS2 debut, and they have the Naughty Dog having the advantage to kind of look back at the entire generation of previous 3D platformers, and it feels so much more rare coded.
Yeah. For sure.
And so that's why I'm like,
which to be clear, for me, I was not a rare collector. Like even Banjo-Kazooie and all that stuff. Like
that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes total sense. And I feel like now that my palate has matured, and I'm not a little.
You might be able to.
I think I'm gonna love them. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's why I thought it'd be fun to have Blessing on for Jak and Daxter specifically, just because he is such a rare kid. Both him and I love Donkey Kong 64, and I think he would get a kick out of Jak and Daxter. So, yeah.
Joel White says, Jak and Daxter 1 and 2 have been recompiled as PC ports and they play pretty well. That's really exciting. I've been really into the recompilation stuff going on, recompiling stuff on the PC side of things, where it's essentially people turn the games into actual PC ports. So it's not emulation, it's straight up. So like if you've seen like Mario 64, like that Render 96, at some point in Games Daily, I brought it up, I don't know if you or Kev were running it. It like just allows you to just straight up do PC stuff. So like change resolution, change aspect ratio, like cool. And the more love people put into it, obviously the better results. But like a great example you should look into is Ship of Harkonnen, which is the Ocarina of Time PC port.
Ooh.
It's crazy. Yeah, I should look into the Jak and Daxter one, and I saw someone say, Rasta Marv says the PC ports by Open Goal runs great on Steam Deck too, so yeah, I'll probably check that out.
Allegedly. They gave up. Looks like they gave up doing Jak 3 though, so it kind of sucks. Oh, that's unfortunate. You need your own copy of the game though to run it, right? Yes.
Yes, you need your own copy of a ROM. What's that?
Wait, what the fuck? What the?
No. This is bad.
Oh God.
That's not how this is supposed to go.
Just blind spin.
All right.
That was so weird.
That was very weird.
They were working on Jak 3, says Demon Hacker. In Star Fox Alpha ship Centauri. Huh. Apparently another one. Yeah, bro, you seen Ocarina of Time ship of Harkonnen PC port? It's fucking sick.
Yeah. Huh. What you say about Star Fox?
Someone was saying in Star Fox Alpha ship Centauri. I don't know what that is. Star Fox Alpha ship?
I don't know. I'm interested. I do know that Star Fox 64 recently was decompiled or recompiled on a PC, and I've been keeping up with that, which is cool. But if there's like a specific project, I want to know about that.
The Demon Hacker says they posted on June 1st. They are still working on Jak 3. Hell yeah. Calling it here, Tim approved all of these streams and videos now because the Naughty Dog announcement or drop is very imminent. Can't wait. No.
I mean,
the reason these streams are actually happening is when I pitched Tim on the Naughty Dog video, he was like, cool, that sounds great. Let's find a way for us to kind of like promote it even more with other content. And so that's where the idea of these streams came from of like doing content around it to kind of push and promote even more like the main piece of content going up on Friday, which we had ideas of with like my other video essays, but they never really came to fruition. But yeah, it would have been awesome to do like a God of War streams before like that video essay or something like that. So we actually found the time to do it. And, thankfully it's not Thankfully, it's like a couple weeks removed from Switch.
Oh, absolutely. And also, it's Last of Us 2 5-year anniversary.
Yeah, this Thursday, which is crazy to think about. Going towards the
I mean, it's also
campus.
crazy to think about Last of Us being made by the people that made this. You
Yep.
know what I mean? I know it's not entirely the same team or even
Yeah.
any of the same team, maybe a couple people, but like,
And maybe my video gets into like, you know, it's crazy to think about, but maybe it's not so crazy when you think about it.
God, one of the most iconic levels in game history.
How do we feel about? I didn't really talk about
Oh,
this
fine.
in the video. No. But they changed the ball to like a dinosaur in Warped. How do we feel about that?
Well, they didn't change. It was a different level.
Yeah,
right.
that's true.
Yeah, I've always been more of a boulder guy.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's obviously classic, but then also the Indiana Jones side of it. But
Yeah.
I just love the way Crash like will look back at
Yeah.
the boulder. Like, there's so much charm in the animations in all of these games. But
I do like the in Warped that like in those dino levels, like it does change. They actually like play around with more of like doing the perspective of like, all right, you're doing towards the camera, now you're doing a bit more traditional side scrolling and like going back to the dinosaur and all that stuff. They played around with, I feel like, the kind of level design there and a way that's a bit more creative and kind of like shakes up the kind of pacing a bit more. So,
this is as stressful as it's always been. I'll tell you that.
wow, rumor debunked.
God.
Thanks all.
No.
There you go. The dino stressed me out way more than the rock. Yeah, because like, you know, the rock is just like, it's just a rock. But the dino's coming for you.
It's
you know?
coming, man.
It's trying.
He's hungry. I just love these games, though, man.
Yeah, it's funny. I like, yeah, the amount of times I've gone back and then, but specifically to Crash 1 for some reason. It's silly. I think if you, I think on my PlayStation hour count on this might be somewhere in like 60 to 80 hour time spent, which is crazy when you think about like how short these games are.
Yeah.
Doing like the 100% and shit. And that's not even like, I did eventually get this for Switch as well.
Yeah.
Because it's nice to have kind of portable. Yeah, these are such good like portable games. I feel
Yeah,
like.
for sure. I mean, yeah, like thinking about these games portable, it's like, God, the day that we can get these running on the PSP, like that was a game changer for me.
Yeah. Question for Tim and Barrett. Do you think Sony ever tried to acquire the rights to Crash Bandicoot? I do wonder if, like, especially because it is interesting, of like they were the Crash Bandicoot team back in the day, and then Sony acquires them. I do wonder if there was a bit of like trying to get that IP with Naughty Dog, and
Yeah.
like what were the conversations back and forth in that? Like that is very interesting to think about.
I'm sure they did.
Yeah.
Like, think about it. Like, they
That was the
presented
mascot.
Crash as their mascot, as like
Yeah.
the literal voice of PlayStation. So, I'm sure there's a YouTube video breaking it all down. You know what I mean? Like, I should look into that because like it's wild because they sold it to Universal, or Universal owned it actually.
Yeah,
didn't sell it.
they
already owned it.
yeah.
Yeah. And I remember Traveler's Tales ended up making Crash 4.
Yeah.
Or not Crash 4, the fourth Crash.
Yeah.
Wrath of Cortex.
Who made the Crash
good.
Bash?
I don't know, but we looked this up recently, but
Yeah.
we've never heard of them.
Okay. Crash Bash. I think you have to do that first level. The very
Because I didn't actually
yeah.
finish the.
Turtle Woods Crash Bash, which was a game I wasn't even aware of.
I mean, Crash Bash was very much a time and place.
Oh,
of, like,
I vaguely remember.
it was on many demo discs,
Yeah. I remember this cover art.
and it was at the point when, like, it was one of the big games they promoted with the PS1, like lowercase ONE, the little
Oh,
baby
yeah.
one.
Oh yeah, it was Eurocom Entertainment Software and Cerny Games. From Mark Cerny. So good. Warped, though, I feel like is still kind of the soundtrack. The amount of horns that are used in Warped that like make it feel a bit more of that like 90s era obsession with ska that I feel like a lot of 3D platformers
Yeah.
had. It's fucking special.
Yeah, the Crash Warped theme is the Crash theme. To me.
Oh yeah. Just trying to remember trying to get my grandma to play Crash Bash with me one day. remember I didn't play a lot. I think the only memory I have of like my grandpa playing a video game with me was Mario Kart 64, and I was just running circles around.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Of course.
I remember he did eventually. I was already living here in San Francisco. I must have been a freshman in high school, and I was playing Batman Arkham Asylum. And I remember, cause he's just like a nerd, and so he was just like really interested in like the tech, because it was his first time watching a video game in a long time, and he was just like, the cape is like clipping through his body and stuff. I was like, cool, man.
That's so funny.
Especially I was like a high school, I was like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
How about CTR? Yeah, I have memories of playing CTR. I feel like that probably at the same babysitter that I played Warped at. But that wasn't one that I really played a lot with like family members or anything like that.
Credence McNabb says, I kind of wish we could see Crash Twinsanity again, although that was Traveler's Tales. That game rocks. Twinsanity is
It
like...
always looks like it rocks.
It's awesome. It has a very weird soundtrack. Everything's done with mouth noises. All of it.
Okay.
But it's a vibe. It commits to it, and like it is this weird like buddy cop thing between Crash and Cortex.
That's why it was always so cool. It's like, oh, he's the villain, but like now they're working together. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I do think it was between Twinsanity and Jak and Daxter for me, because every once in a while it's like, okay, you're allowed to get a game.
Yeah.
You only get one. I think I ended up getting Jak and Daxter.
And Jak and Daxter probably the better game overall,
Yeah.
but Twinsanity is one that I will rock for. I don't put it on the same level at all as these other Crash games, but it is a good game.
Hell yeah.
And then CTR, Crash Team Racing, it's one of my favorites ever. Like I love that game, and I loved it. That was another one that we had day one. And I guess my neighbor across the street that we hung out with every day did. And like, yeah, Crash Team Racing and Smash Brothers 64, and then eventually Melee. That was the every day we were playing these. And yeah, Crash Team Racing, I feel like, just getting it out of the way. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is what I feel like kart racers should feel like.
Right.
And like, that's just it. You don't get better than that. But I do think that Crash Team Racing is a excellent version of what kart racing can feel like.
Yes.
Different, in a different fashion.
Very different, but yeah.
And I think it's a bit more, take the items out and that game's still fun. Take the items out of Mario Kart, I don't know that it has the same level of,
Yep.
but the items aren't interesting at all in Crash.
No.
They're all just very, very
And they all kind of feel weird
Yeah.
to use. You gotta face Dingo Dot? No, is he warped? No, Ripperoo. See, this is I love the detail of like some of the storytelling that they do here, right? Where it's like Ripperoo is at the bottom of the waterfall that you knock him off of.
Oh,
Crash one.
yeah. So good.
And now he's like fucking crazy.
Yeah.
He
was
still
obsessed.
uses the boxes and shit.
Yeah. That was the other thing too about Crash Team Racing is it's like, I loved the world, like reading the manuals of these games and getting to know these characters, and
Yeah.
Crash Team Racing I feel like opened that world up a lot more, and like there was a lot more just personality being able to choose them, and
This one's always stressful to me. Where are you going, buddy? How do we find the other video essays? You can go to our playlist tab on youtube.com/kindafunnygames, and one of the playlists is Kinda Funny Special Presentations. It's got a bunch of different videos in there. Some of the it's kind of a grab bag of kind of like our not regular content. So you'll find some of like the stand-up videos that we've done throughout the years. All of Blessing's video essays, I believe, are there as well. But yeah, you'll find pretty much all of my video essays over there as well.
they're all worth watching.
Yeah, and it's crazy to me that's the most watched one. Is,
Oh.
oh my God, Tim, is Legend of Zelda in Review Part 1, which I think, like looking back on it, it's such a it's such a very specific video. And I think it's fundamentally probably the worst video that I've put out for Kinda Funny.
That's so funny.
It's just me sitting at a desk, like, reading off of, like, a script. Like, I remember, it was, like, the old studio, right? So imagine like we've got this TV underneath this camera in this setup right here, chat. And so our setup was at the old studio was exactly like this, where we had our main camera shot, and then we had a big TV underneath it. And so I would put the script for Zelda in Review just on the big TV, and I would just kind of like read it line by line, because this was before. What the fuck? That's so weird. This was before we did like any teleprompter stuff. So
yeah.
It was like,
oh, that's right.
Yeah, so I could not even tell you how much like raw footage there was of Zelda in Review Part 1. And yeah, I barely used any like B-roll or anything. It's literally just a dude sitting at a desk reading like for 4 hours.
So funny.
Is it the 2 Zelda videos and the Persona one? The other, so let's see, I've done Zelda Part 1, Assassin's Creed, then the Arkham Files I did, which is in a separate, that's in its own playlist. And then what did I do after the Arkham Files? God of War. I did a Jedi Fallen Order video essay, and then Zelda Part 2, and then Persona. And Persona was the last one that I did nearly a year and a half ago at this point, which is crazy. This guy was the coolest to me growing up. Like him being in charge of all the time shit.
So sick, dude.
With the crystals, I swear it.
I love Crash, but I grew up with the post-Naughty Dog era. Wrath of Cortex was one of the first games I played. That's crazy. Was Wrath of Cortex good?
No, it was very bad. Yeah, but I mean, I get it when you're a kid, like whatever, it's a fun game. But like Wrath of Cortex, you have to keep time and place in mind. But like these 3 games, like even if now we're saying that 3 was a little too gimmicky for its own good, it still was the 3rd Crash game, and like there was still a level of quality and like character to it all, and unique things. By the time Wrath of Cortex came out, it was next gen. So you're expecting a PS2 level Crash, and you didn't get that. You just got more of the same, and I don't think it did anything best. And the gimmicks that it included, it had this like hamster wheel thing, like hamster ball.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that fun.
Yeah, Poppin says it's got monkey ball levels. That's
but it wasn't horrible. It just like was not what people were looking for at that point. Like I would put Wrath of Cortex in the category of like talking the power of Juju and like just like, oh yeah, it's a 3D platformer.
Don't get me started on tagging the power of Juju, right, Timmy? Don't get me started.
Well, what are you, pro or against?
I'm a big hater of tagging the power.
Well, yeah, I mean,
don't get me started. Mind-boggling that man got a TV show.
That man.
Did the TV show come first, or was it was a game first, right?
I think it was a game first.
Attack the power.
It might have been like a
Syndicate.
Same time thing.
TV series. No, it wasn't same time. The show started 4 years after the first game came out, which is fucking insane.
Damn, that is really crazy.
It was the first CGI series to be directly produced in-house by Nickelodeon. What about Jimmy Neutron? I guess that wasn't like directly.
Oh, maybe it wasn't in-house, yeah.
That's so interesting.
A lot of people in the chat seem impressed by the theming and the look of this level. Yeah, like all of the Crash games really kind of went out of their way to have a lot of variety in where we're going. And like Crash 1 was a lot more, we're on an island and like what could be on an island. But then I feel like after that, they're like, you know, having the warp room in 2 allowed them to go crazy places.
Yeah, go wherever.
But in this one, every section has its own like time period vibe to it, which allowed them to do some fun things.
Guys, don't forget to answer my question. I'd really like to know what you think. Besides, the game is inspired by Akira and Cowboy Bebop. What would come out of it? Wait, sorry, Francisco. Let me find your question. Oh, I'm so curious to know what Intergalactic will be like. Do you think it could be something along the lines of Jedi Fallen Order, combat, semi-open world, several planets? From what I understand from interviews, it sounds like it's just going to be that one planet. Which correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like there was some hubbub about like, you know, the trailer being like all spacey and stuff, but then a majority of the game is going to be on like this one planet or whatever. Yeah, in terms of design, I have no idea. I know Andy was really excited by some Naughty Dog interview from a couple of years ago where they're all really into like Elden Ring and shit. So I do wonder if there's a bit more of that kind of Souls, maybe like similar to Jedi Fallen Order, like a more like casual first time Souls game type of thing, which could be interesting.
I imagine it'll be closer to that than I see a lot of people bringing up Bloodborne, and maybe closer to Bloodborne than Fallen Order was, but I don't think too that close.
No. Especially with like their first time doing that, I think that would be like such a hard left turn for Naughty Dog to take that like I feel like a majority of their audience might be like kind of taken aback by and not be super into. But I get like wanting to do something different, especially because of the like so much of the gameplay in The Last of Us Part 2 feels like where do you kind of go from there, because a lot of their gameplay feels like it was kind of building up to that, and so I totally get wanting to do like doing something completely different that's a bit more maybe like a melee base and less stealth action.
And, you know, I'm not a Souls guy at all, but I do think that there is something interesting about a Souls-like game that is story-focused.
Yeah, and being made by Naughty Dog.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, especially after the gameplay of The Last of Us Part 2. Like,
yeah, I trust them with that stuff, but I also just feel like having a narrative where I want to know what happens next in a plot function, not in a world or theme function, would push me to want to play a Souls game. You know what I mean? Like want to overcome the boss so I can get the answer of what happens in a way more straightforward, simple way. Because we don't really get many Souls-likes that have straightforward narratives.
Yeah.
Traditional narratives is probably a better
way
to say it. And that's why I think the Jedi games vibe with me so much.
Yeah, FSI says, yes, one lost planet, very disappointing to me. Andrew says, I'm very scared we may never see a Crash 5. Apparently Crash 4 didn't sell great.
It did sell well, though. Just it wasn't as high as this game, which makes sense, like, for nostalgia. Like,
yeah. And then, it was like was it an early PS5 game? Or was it a late PS4 game?
It was a late PS4, and then they added there was a next-gen version that came out like months later.
Right. Yeah, so I think it also just kind of came out in a weird time too. That was getting overshadowed by a lot of like other, like the next gen of it all. Which was tough. Whoa, Timmy!
Oh, I got it. Yeah, I think we'll see a Crash 5 or a new Crash. I don't know that it'll be 5. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we do get a kind of Activision team-up game. Like a Spyro Crash, but I still feel like we're getting a Spyro 4
before we see Crash again. Yeah, because Toys for Bob's working on something.
Yeah.
You vibe with Spyro at all?
I respect Spyro, but you know Crash is my boy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I played all 3 of the PS1 games, and I liked them. Yeah. But I just never... PS1, Crash was my boy. PS2, Ratchet was my boy.
Yeah, Spyro I never could fully get into. That's a core memory of... I was at my... Stick with me here. I was at my mom's boyfriend's mom's house because they were on a date or going out or somewhere. So I was being like watched by my mom's boyfriend's mom. And I was like... very early memory, so I was like maybe 3 or 4, and this was another like first time playing a PlayStation 1, and he had like Spyro, and I was looking at the controller, and it's like the menu, and it's like press start. I'm looking at the controller, I'm like, I don't know what start is.
Yeah.
And then like I think the next thing I do, I just like fell asleep.
That's so funny. Yeah, I
just got frustrated and I just like took a nap.
I loved Spyro's feel, like gliding around. It felt really fun to just move around in that game.
Yeah, I think that's I want to look at that. That was a fun video that I made back at IGN. Spyro comparison. When they brought when they did the like announcement trailer of the Spyro Reignited trilogy. I did like a side-by-side comparison of like all of the like original game shots and like trying to recreate the trailer in the game, which was like a little difficult. Let's see, Spyro comparison IGN.
Spyro. Talking about Spyro reminded me of something I really loved about Crash Team Racing that now sounds silly, but back in the day was like the most exciting thing ever was the adventure mode, like the story mode. Like for story mode's a very lightweight or is over qualifying what it actually is. But like the adventure mode was so fun to just drive around in and like practice drifting and just like having a free roam space in a kart racer just felt good to live in, you know. And it's funny now in Mario Kart World where so many years later it's like
that's what's going on.
Yeah, but I loved like me and my friends would just hang out and like try to do things, like try to make jumps and stuff that like we clearly weren't supposed to, you know?
Right. Just trying to break the game. And speaking of Crash Team Racing, let's jump into it right after a word from our sponsors.
Oh, I like that, but we have to at least do this level.
Oh, yeah,
you know what I mean?
Do this level and then we'll go to sponsors.
Let's do that, because this is one of my all-time favorites, man. Yeah, playing as Coco was always a fun. So he's like, I'm gonna be on the Tiger.
It's cool that in the remakes as well, you get the options to play as her in the other games as well too. And I like it's the fun of like the lore of it that they build out as well, where it's like if you see her on the computer, she's looking at the map of Crash 1, and then it's all the like time warp shit, and it's like, oh, that's
so cool. I really love these games, man.
Yeah, they're special. Whoa! Oop. That was close.
Yeah. Oof. I always thought he said, "Good golly, my trench coat."
Yeah, Chad agrees with you. Nitrogen agrees with you. These levels were the best.
Love this stuff.
Didn't care for the flying ones though. Oh my god.
Oh, those. Oh,
not fun.
Yeah, I love these ones though. I remember me and my friends used to try to like do timed races on who can beat it the fastest, but then also who could 100% it the fastest.
Oh.
And like, I don't even think I could do that if I tried now. Like, because you have
especially like this jump there where you have to like avoid that to get to the boxes. That's crazy.
I always love this big long jump too.
Woo! Yeah.
So cool.
Aw, they love each other. All right, with that, we'll be right back from a word from our sponsor.
This episode's brought to you by Shady Rays. Get ready for the season ahead with quality shades built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered with premium polarized shades that won't break the bank. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company offering a world-class product rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. They have hundreds of options to choose from, so you're bound to find the perfect pair to match your style. If you don't love your shades, exchange them for a new pair or simply return worry-free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop. Their team are always there to have your back with personal and fast support. Y'all know I've been outside a lot playing Pokemon Go, and it's such a great experience wearing Shady Rays when I'm out and about looking dope. Exclusively for you, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal. Head to shadyrays.com and use code FUNNY for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Again, go to shadyrays.com, use code FUNNY to get 35% off polarized sunglasses.
Hey everyone, we're back. Barrett is running to the bathroom. Here we are in Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. Again, CTR, one of my favorite games ever. I spent so much time playing it. Again, a lot of games are my favorite games. Does not mean I'm good at them at all. But that's the fun about games, man. You don't need to be good or be the best. I don't want to say I'm bad at most of these, but I'm definitely not the best. Let's jump in here. Let's start over. Let's start fresh, you know? I was always such a basic dude when it came to this game, though. Like, in most kart racers, I just go straight, like, choose my character and then just standard kart, standard everything. And here, I'm just my boy Crash, standard kart. Oh shit. Post Melon 15 says, "Hi, kind of funny. I just want to show my appreciation. Last Wednesday, I got diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. I'm scared, but thank you for being a distraction." I am so sorry to hear that. We are here for you in any way we can be to hang out and provide as much positivity as possible. Hanging out with one of the best communities on the internet. So everyone, hang out and chat. Show some love to Post Melon. We're rooting for you.
Greetings, creatures of this planet. I come to compete.
So you pesky earth slugs like to race, eh? Well, I, nitrous oxide, am the fastest.
Nitrous oxide. What a dope name. And another one because they're a racist. Engine.
It's a little game I call
Welcome to the adventure area. You can travel around this area and practice.
I just love this, man. Like, and yeah, it's very basic, but thank you so much.
Yep.
All right, let's see.
All right, your turn. You go to the rest.
Okay, cool.
I'll hold it down here. Are you just doing kind of?
Yeah, I want to change the controls to be more Mario Kart, or else it's gonna break my brain. Because right now it's the trigger version.
Oh yeah. Driving style, is it classic? Okay. Playing Crash when you could be playing Gex. Gex is for Mike and Roger, and I have no idea where they are. Oh yeah, it is the triggers. Hold on. So let's go. Customization. Yeah, this is where he was. Driving style. Is this where you do it? Hold on. Yeah, let's do classic. Confirm. Oh yeah, no, it's still triggers. Interesting. Oh, here we go. Gameplay. Here we go. Controls. Controls alternate. Controls standard. There we go. Classic is the character-based traits. So Crash balance, tiny, speed, etc. Gotcha. Do we think Toys for Bob is working on Spyro 4 or something else? It's probably Spyro 4. All right, I think I fixed it for you. Hold on, and then we'll go to customization. It's driving style. I think this is more for like how you want Crash to feel, but I changed it back to like X being your acceleration.
Cool. Yeah, let's try that. See what happens. Oh, even that's funny though, because I'm now used to Nintendo being the A button for acceleration.
Oh, is that how it is? Yeah, I guess so. That's weird.
Yeah. I'm so Mario Karted out. This is so funny. Even the like everything feels off.
It takes a bit to get used to, man.
That's so funny. But even the sounds of the carts, like I've always been obsessed with it.
Yeah, and like drift boosting is such like a
so different.
It's so different, but then like once you get your head wrapped around it, you're like, oh, this is actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
You must have a boss key to open this door.
This ain't Crash Bandicoot 2. This is CTR. Yeah, we changed games. We're jumping in and out. We started with Crash 2, and now we're just jumping around, having fun, just reminiscing about Crash Bandicoot in general. I wish Mario Kart had a story mode like this in the same sense that this has boss races. See, I'm of two minds with this. Like, I liked the format in terms of like a story mode for Crash. I did find like the not having like Grand Prix in this kind of weird for like the single player campaign. I was missing that, but I do think like the one-on-one like challenges I think are cool, and they like kind of but not really do that in Mario Kart World, where it's like very obviously in like the Grand Prix where it's like, okay, this one racer who is like extremely ridiculously good is the racer that you're gonna unlock in this Grand Prix. But
totally,
yeah, I think they could have presented that I think a bit more interestingly of like, okay, like now it's a showdown between you and Donkey Kong or some shit, you know? So
yeah, it's God. I feel like we were so close to just perfection. We're so far actually, but like so close to like being in the realm of getting there.
Yeah,
and we just didn't. Like, yeah, I would have loved boss fights. I would love more variation. Like, give me a Grand Prix, but then also give me just one level to like focus on and do something interesting in.
Yeah.
And yeah, little weird quests to do things like have NPCs have you collect things around the world or whatever. Like,
yeah.
But alas, they did not do that. And it sucks. Like, I've said this a couple times now, but I've spent all weekend playing the hell out of Mario Kart World. Desperately trying to get 3 stars on Knockout Tour. I got on 2 more of them, but God, I'm getting my ass kicked to the others, Barrett. I don't know what to do.
It's crazy. You just gotta like, just kind of hope for the RNG to like work in your favor in those. There's a couple that like are really degrading, especially because like that first lap is like, for some of them is so long, and then you won't get first, and then you're like, all right, well, got to start this over again from fucking square one.
Yeah, it's really upsetting to me because like I don't want to keep playing the free run mode. Like,
yeah,
because I want to do everything, but until I can track it all, I'm just not doing this.
Right.
I mean, it feels like a waste of time. But yeah, I'm pretty shocked at the Knockout Tour 3-star thing because it really feels like you need to play a meta game that's not fun.
Yeah.
Like, you need to figure out, like, all right, what's the worst I can do to like trick the computers to not play like pros? Like, it's so, but you still need to be first in every freaking lap. Like,
I jumped into some World yesterday. I was kind of in and out all weekend. I had a rough stomach bug, so when I was actually kind of like conscious yesterday, I saw the boy Michael Hyam was like, "Oh, we got a Mario Kart World room." I jumped in.
Let's have you jump into this real quick.
Okay.
Let's see you.
And I did 2 knockout tours, and I won both of them in a row. And they're like, "What the fuck, dude?"
I love it.
So
Yeah, see, knockout tour.
Shout out to Nanobiologist who was in that room, who I haven't heard from in like a long time.
Yeah.
It's funny, like he posted at me and he was like, "Can you calm down for one race, please?"
That's so funny. Yeah, the knockout tours are the best. Online are amazing, and like playing with friends are amazing.
Yeah.
Really hate them single player.
Yeah.
You win a trophy.
Oh, thank you.
You can go faster through turns by power sliding. Press the power slide button while performing a hard...
Andrew says, "Tim, you got the exact same time every lap that race." What are the chances? But isn't this crazy to wrap your head around?
Well, actually, hold on, because it's even more weird. Because like I would go controls. Yeah, I would go. I think this right. So
you want to accelerate with?
Yeah, with the trigger, and then hop and power slide. This. I forget how to like. How do you do the boost? There's like a certain button you have to do while doing it, right?
Will you just tap it again? Same.
Well, let me look at controls here. Controls. Use power up, toggle map, accelerate. Hop and power.
Oh, it's the opposite one, right?
Oh, maybe. Yeah, hold on. Yeah. You have to like not run into shit.
God, satisfying.
Fuck, it's so good.
To open this door, you must come in first place in all 4 races of this area.
Thank you, Aku Aku. Alright, yeah, let's jump into whoa! Wait. What the fuck?
Yeah, so I'm so surprised. You've 3-starred the Knockout Tours
Yeah.
on both normal and mirror mode.
Yes.
I haven't even touched the mirror mode one, but somebody was saying in chat earlier today, I think, that if you do the mirror mode, it also gives you the 150cc stars, but other games haven't functioned that way.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Does anyone watching now have confirmation one way or the other?
About how that works.
Because otherwise I'm just gonna move on to mirror mode and just start there.
Yeah, it's interesting that they would make it work that way now. Doesn't that just feel so much better than Mario Kart? In some ways, yes. In other ways, feels like some of the, like, I just don't have the kind of hub world map, like, memorized, so I'm just, like, running into shit. It feels a little looser than I want to, but when you actually get into the drift boosting, it is really fun.
Yeah. I can't, with how much I've been playing Mario Kart, I can't wrap my brain around it right now. But yeah, no, I feel like just from a sheer just like skill perspective, this is my favorite of the competitive kart racers.
Yeah.
But having said that, I feel like Spyro Petty Deluxe. I went back and played Deluxe for a bit, Barrett.
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
Does it hit, or are you like, like I'm brain broken?
Oh no, it hits so hot, man. Like, it's the drifting just feels so much better in that game.
Whoa, whoa. Yeah, I've just been like slowly making myself get used to the drift in the world, and like, just like, man, it's not the same.
It just doesn't. It's not effective.
Yeah,
that's the biggest problem. And I feel like the courses aren't really made for that. Like, not even the straightaway stuff. Like, even just like the actual courses don't require it as much. But Jiv says, the thread on Reddit says, yep, when you beat Knockout or Grand Prix on Mirror with 3 stars, you get 3 stars on the other speeds.
God damn it. I wasted so much time.
I know, fuck.
I could have just like...
Too. I'm sticking with that now, though. Maybe that'll solve all my problems.
Yeah. Oh, no, come on.
Uh-oh. Oh, that turtle got smacked.
Whoa! The Aku Aku song is so good.
I also just love the sound design. Like, there's so much fun.
Yeah.
The Crash Bandicoot.
No! Oh, that's tough. That's tough.
Yeah, we have a Sonic Cross Worlds coming soon, and I respect the Sonic racing games, the good ones, more than I actually enjoy them. And I feel like more of them than not are not great, but Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed was awesome. Sonic Team Racing was whatever.
Sonic Team Racing came out like back in 2019.
Something like that, yeah. But this new one coming up does seem like it is poised to be the best one so far.
Hell yeah.
But I still feel like it's never going to be my preferred kart racer.
I do want to try it out just because, especially some of the hands-on previews were like, made it sound like a bit more, I forget if they were hands-on previews or not actually, but people who maybe got to see some of it at Summer Game Fest were saying like, it seems to have a bit more of a hardcore feel than Mario Kart World, so I do want to try to give it a shot.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Ross Oach says, can you do mirror mode but invert the controls so it's normal? Controls don't change for mirror mode. It literally just changes the like layout of the map.
Yeah. Which is again why it's not an interesting mode. No! Oh, give me fucking Christ. Alright.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what your controls are?
Yeah, I do trigger and
trigger
then
for accelerate, which is jump.
X or L1.
And are so then these are the opposites for the okay.
Yeah. CTR can be pretty difficult. Yes.
Definitely.
It can be.
Yeah.
This is definitely, I think, that's actually interesting. What's the toughest Naughty Dog game to beat?
Crash 1.
No, because I've played it so many times, and so that's one where it's like, even though that like game is technically hard,
who's next?
I'm just so used to that game, so it's like it wasn't too hard to go back, and it's also so short. And CTR, it's not too long either, but you're doing a lot of tracks over and over again. If you're not like absolutely goated at it. Crash Team Racing is definitely up there. For reasons that I'll not, I'll wait to share why. For the video itself, Jak 2 was also pretty difficult to finish. I'm trying to think of other ones. And like a lot of their modern stuff, like I wouldn't consider difficult.
Yeah.
Unless you're playing on like grounded mode on Last of Us or something like that,
Yeah.
Yeah, like Cathol says, I'm gonna vote Jak 2 as the hardest Naughty Dog game. Yeah, I would say it's between Jak 2 and Crash Team Racing for sure.
I was watching this woman on TikTok as Last of Us was airing on HBO.
Yeah.
And she was like, wait a minute, what do y'all keep saying that Crash Team, or that The Last of Us is based on a video game? Like what does that mean? Like how is that possible? Like I thought everyone plays video games and like it's different. Like they're just playing against each other. Like she had no idea what like video games are.
What?
Or like what they can be, Like, and she even says in videos, she's like, oh yeah, like all the guys I know that play games, like they play NBA 2K or Call of Duty. Like, what do you mean that the story's based on their?
That can't be real. She's got to know that. That's got to be a bid.
No, I mean
that's
like
got to be a word.
I don't think so. Like thinking about like imagine if you just aren't around gaming at all, except for people playing those games. Like,
yeah, that's fair.
You just would not know.
That's crazy.
And she like it got really popular, and she was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna play this game." So Last of Us was the first game she ever played, and she's been streaming and like documenting her playthrough. And last night she beat it.
Oh, damn!
It was
That's
awesome.
crazy.
Yeah. Oh god.
No.
These controls, I just can't. Like, I keep forgetting, and I'm hitting the wrong thing to jump.
Yeah, you have to jump to knock it off, right?
Yeah, it was really cool to see her learn to play games, and like with Last of Us 1, like she played on story or whatever, but like still, like
Yeah, that's cool.
yeah.
Jak 2 mission when you need to escape the swamp part of the city while getting attacked messed me up. There's a lot of similar stuff like that in Jak 2 that are tough to get through. All right,
We have to go back and forth so one of us gets it.
we're gonna do this, chat. I love that they added Spyro to this game. Is Spyro in this?
Yeah, later they added him. There's so much content they added. Like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, how they added all those courses. This game did the same thing.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, there was like an insane amount of DLC for it, but
Yeah, because I'm already noticing like they're all doing like different costumes and
yeah,
shit.
I forget the Kebabs is in the chat. I'm sure they'll explain more, but it had a very bad and weird DLC system and like a ton
I
of like
vaguely remember this.
microtransaction systems within the game. Like there was like a battle pass type stuff going on. It's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
But if you strip away that stuff, just like if there's any way to just get all the content in the game, this is a complete game full of stuff to do.
Hell yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure, okay, correct me if I'm wrong here, I'm pretty sure that they added all the kart, or the courses from the sequels, like Nitro Kart and all the other kart games into this.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Are those games any good? Did you play any of those?
I never liked them. Yeah, like it's the same thing. Naughty Dog didn't make them.
Right.
It just felt different. Or it just felt like more.
Yeah. Whoa!
Credence says, I remember you had to play the online stuff to get the extra content and it was all time limited.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
there's
tough.
like a bunch of weird things like that. Including getting the Xfinity specific skin slash cart.
What? The Xfinity is in like
Comcast.
what? Why is that a thing? Honestly, that makes the Mercedes collaboration for Mario Kart make much more sense.
Kebab says they did add every single Nitro Kart track, but none of the tag team racing tracks.
Ooh. Oh,
There we
shit.
go. Oh, this is yours. Got the missile. God, the boosting's so good.
It's so good. Oh, fuck. They're like right on me. Yeah, that's something that I was able to kind of clock pretty quickly is like the kind of rubber banding I feel like in this game is way less lenient than some of the Mario Kart games. Like they are on you at all times,
Yeah.
which is I would say it's fun. Like it was definitely like a refreshing like oh right, not all kart racers have to be as easy as Mario Kart's kind of single player stuff.
Yeah.
Oh shit. There we go.
Hell yeah. We did it.
Underrated, this theme.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Crash Racing thing. Go.
It was a special skin for Xfinity users. I think that's so weird.
So funny.
This game has helped with my Mario World FOMO. Barrett, turn on the classic music. Ooh.
Yeah, let's try that.
What up?
Oh, what's up?
Trying to take over? Yo!
All the kids went to Target, and they brought back things to taste test.
Okay.
You can start with a chocolate-covered pretzel Oreo.
Or just go straight to Selena Gomez.
We also got Pringles beer can chicken.
Beer can chicken.
I will
Fuck
tell
yeah.
you, there is someone in the minority. You can try them and decide what you think.
So there's like a group of people who feel one way, and then there's one person
Yeah,
who feels the
yeah.
other way. And are we guessing?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what is it? This
I want
is
to guess the sentiment.
Beer can chicken.
Beer
Miller
can
Lite
chicken.
Beer can chicken Pringles.
I mean, I like it.
A pie.
I don't know that I'd ever identify the taste as
I
that.
think it tastes like chicken.
It tastes like a roasted
It tastes
chicken.
like the skin of the roasted chicken.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody else hates it.
Yeah?
yeah.
Yeah, we thought it tasted old. It tasted weird.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm
Good bouquet
I'm
of
here
Selena
for it.
Gomez.
Get in here,
Yeah.
Reagan. Get in here.
No, I'm still working. I'm making good progress.
Okay.
I want to see what this tastes like.
It's funny. I almost texted you about both of these yesterday because there's always the place that I go to for groceries. It's always the same weird little corner, not with the rest of the Oreos that always have the special things. And I was like, should I hit him up about the Selena Gomez and the chocolate covered pretzels? So this is Selena Gomez.
I initially got hit. I'm like, what the fuck? I don't like this. Not prepared for cinnamon. But once I am, I like it a lot.
Yeah.
That is cinnamon, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I really like the Selena Gomez.
All right, one more. These are
Chocolate
the
covered pretzels.
chocolate covered pretzel. Don't like the quality factor. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can see like the double stuff
What?
where they.
That's way too floppy.
I don't get a lot of pretzel.
Yeah.
Cookie for sure. Chocolate is good.
Yeah.
I don't hate them,
But I came off the chicken pretty quick.
but I don't like. They don't stand out to me.
I don't have any strong thoughts.
Yeah. Selena Gomez Oreos I like.
Yeah. You just have to be prepared. No.
No, I'm okay.
Thank you.
though.
You win a
I just want the
trophy.
chat to know that Nick promised me Chipotle, and now I'm having sun chips.
To get a
Oh,
turbo
no.
boost
Damn.
while power sliding, wait until the smoke from your exhaust turns black. Then press the power slide button. If you wait too long, you'll hear a backfire sound.
That was a lot of different flavors.
Yeah. All like very quickly, back to back. That was crazy.
I'm so happy this game exists, this remake.
Yeah. Does it have like a big online scene? Like, are people still like going?
Oh,
like,
I have no idea.
Is there like
I doubt it, though.
Chat, let me know. Kebabs, you probably know. Is like there a big competitive scene for Crash Team Racing? The chocolate covered pretzel Oreos are okay. Yeah, this is yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like Greg was saying, I'm not getting a lot of pretzel from it. So we're gonna go to options, audio. Bob's was saying, do the legacy music.
That's cool that you can change the music.
Yeah, that's fun. And it's the one thing, god damn it, with that, we're kind of almost getting at it earlier, just talking about like the way these are adapted and kind of like the vibe that gets lost in translation from the original games. These are the kind of remakes that I wish we got a little bit of that like Halo remaster treatment from, where you could switch back and forth from like the other stuff. I do know that like the bones are different though in terms of like the gameplay feel, so I get why like they didn't do that and why it's probably like way harder to do something like that for this type of remake, but it still would have been cool to have.
Yeah.
Especially as someone in chat earlier talking about like, oh man, it sucks that like we don't have like a good way to play the originals on modern consoles.
Because my criticism of the Insane Trilogy is the same here. It's like this is lacking the look of the PS1 Crash games with like the crushed blacks and everything. So, but I think it's beautiful though. Like I feel like the art style they went with is awesome, and like there's so much love and care put into the background elements and everything. Like
there's still something about getting into that initial drift. Still feels off to me.
Oh, very close.
And I love that the story, which I don't talk about too much in the Naughty Dog video, is pretty much just like, hey, an alien is really bored and wants to race planet Earth.
I love it. Why not?
Nah, man. All right. Barrett, do you really hate 30 frames per second? 30 frames per second is super disgusting, and I definitely see it all the time, and definitely noticed it, and you know, we need to let it go. As a society, yeah, 60 frames per second needs to be the baseline.
I don't know where the sarcasm starts and ends in what you said. What are your thoughts? Like, really?
I don't care.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's definitely...
It's like, as long as it looks and feels good, I don't really care.
Yeah, I'm kind of there too. Like, but the reality is I have been broken that I do realize now, like 60 over 30.
Oh, yeah.
At the very least. And I want to, like, I want to be like, okay, well, 60 is all that matters. Like, why would you ever need 120? And it's like, then playing Tony Hawk, a game that I know, that's fast-paced, that I know how it should feel, I'm like, oh, fuck, I do vastly prefer the higher frames.
Yeah.
But I feel like for the majority of games that I care about, like, 60 is all that I need.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even 40 is so much better than 30.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Shah in the chat sums it up of, like, just stable frame rate is like the most important thing, because like, you know, like playing Zelda at 30 on the Switch 1, like I didn't hate. What I hated was all of the frame drops when you're in anything that is grass, you know, like that was like where it gets unbearable for me, right? And like to the point where it's like playing those games now on Switch 2, it does like, it almost feels weird to me that they are 60.
Oh yeah, dude, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, same thing. It's just like, it almost feels like it's on turbo mode.
Yeah. And I think it's also like, it depends on like, and granted it feels like this is rare to actually happen, but like what's the artistic vision? Like if that fits more something, if that fits 30 frames per second a bit more, like what you're trying to go for with your vision, then like, yeah, do 30 frames per second.
Yeah. I mean, I feel this
especially
game,
for more cinematic games, like it is sometimes weird now to play like a Last of Us where you can play it in 60 frames, like a Last of Us Part 2 where you're like, man, it's doing so much to be a Hollywood product that it does feel weird. And even though it's like, you know, it's a video game and those aren't real people, there is still a little bit of like it's kind of weird to see that in 60, but
yeah. Like, I feel like kart racers should be 60. This isn't, and it's fine.
That's why I was like being cheeky of like, oh yeah, we need only 60 frames per second when this is very clearly 30. Mario Kart World in 4 players, who knows though?
Who knows?
Still undetermined. We'll never know.
Yeah, I love tech and I love the value of knowing about all the things or whatever, but I do think that the majority of people that have FPS counters when they're playing games are doing themselves a disservice.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of times that that's valuable and worth it, but I feel like there are more times that if you just didn't know, you would enjoy a lot better.
Yeah, Andy Cortez.
But then there's a lot of people that find enjoyment in different ways.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so it's like, I'm not talking shit about any of that.
No, it's okay. You can talk shit about it. He's not in the room. I won't say what, but it was a little bit of a scary, not scary, but just like one of those like, oh shit moments where both Andy and Alyssa were like out of the house yesterday, and it was just me and Lulu. And it was just one of those like, oh shit. Like if I fuck up like forgetting my keys, like I'm fucked. It's just like one of those rare moments where like I have neither of them
alone,
to
yeah.
like rely on. I'm like, oh shit, like I gotta be really careful about like leaving the house and shit. I'm scared.
That's so funny.
Andy, come home. Now, I don't remember this thing right here. What is this golden box that I'm
I don't know.
and then this like golden
I actually don't know.
Wumpa fruit thing that
I don't
doing?
remember this. There definitely seems to be things added to this that weren't there.
Ah! Damn it, on the third lap. Oh, come on, come on! Fucking Christ.
Jean Jacket says, I definitely need an FPS counter sometimes. I don't need it super high, I just need it stable. Being able to see it helps in diagnosing problems with settings. Yeah, absolutely.
No, that's
I think, I mean, on the counterpoint to what I was saying, I wish that gaming consoles allowed you to just see FPS as well, just so you could verify things. But
yeah.
I just don't feel like it should be a default that you just have that on.
Yep.
And if you do, it should be very, very tiny in a way that you're like, I'm not looking at that unless I need to. Because you just fixate. I mean, maybe you don't. I do. Like,
Yeah.
I will constantly be like looking at it.
Yeah, FPS counters help you figure out which settings are causing frame rate drops. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
For sure.
You guys think Crash will ever get his own TV series, maybe for Netflix?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I feel like if that were to happen, it would have happened already. You know?
Yeah, and he was in a couple episodes of the Skylanders show on Netflix.
I'm sorry. Pause.
Yeah.
Skylanders had a show on Netflix?
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. Dude,
What are we
Skylanders
doing?
was so big, man.
It was so big. But still, what are we doing?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Crash and Spyro were hanging out on Netflix.
Yeah, the Skylander, like the crazy way that like Skylanders did to Crash and Spyro would, or I guess initially Spyro, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was like, it reminded me a lot of what the Rabbids did to Rayman.
Kinda.
It's like, oh, that's fucked up, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny though, because like, you know, the Rabbids games were great, and at that point,
Yeah, that like initial, it was like,
oh, fuck, I'm holding X. No!
the initial one was just like the Wii, like Raving Rabbids game, right? Where it
Yeah.
was just like kind of a party game or whatever.
Guess what everyone that had a Wii wanted? Party games.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, 100%. And vaguely remember that like the couple of weeks where I borrowed someone's Wii, and I think that's how I originally played. Yeah, that's how I played Skyward Sword, and then they also had the Raving Rabbids game. And I do remember being like weirdly, like, taken by that game for some weird reason. It was like just the idea of like, all right, you're Rayman, and there's like this weird tower that you have to get up through, and you have to like do all of these fucking mini games to like get up this tower. I was like, there's just something about like the completionist side of my brain where I was like, ooh, yes, give me that.
Yeah.
More
Yeah,
of this and
it's
less
funny
of saving cats in Skyward Sword.
Yeah. You're right that or Twilight Princess, right?
Well, Skyward Sword had the cat saving. I think they both have missions where you save a cat.
I was more referring to the Wii launch period.
Well, I didn't have the Wii at launch.
Gotcha,
I just borrowed a friend's like years down the line, and like I just like borrowed the games that they had because I think at that point they, like everybody, I was always like, I felt like a generation behind on some for so much of my childhood. So like I got a 360 when I moved here to San Francisco. So that was like beginning of 2009. And then, yeah, I never owned a Wii, but I borrowed a friend's Wii, I think like in 2008, and like just caught up on like a bunch of games. Or no, that can't be right because, no, it was later. Because yeah, I was here actually. So, because Skyward Sword was 2010?
Yeah.
That sounds right?
That does sound
yeah,
right.
so I was here. God, it's always that fucking rocket at the beginning. And so yeah, it was someone's Wii that I borrowed here that I like finally caught up on like a bunch of Nintendo games. And then Twilight Princess I had originally played on the GameCube. I didn't play that on Wii, which is the better way to play that game.
You're the only person I know. That's funny. Yeah, it's funny you bringing up the.
Because we need to have Link needs to be left-handed. Like what the fuck? Are we doing?
the Rabbids and Rayman and then the Skylanders and Crash and Spyro. Like it's funny because in the moment that sucked, but now, 10 years removed, it's like the best thing to happen to all these characters. Like we actually got these remakes. We got Crash 4. Like that's crazy.
But where is Rayman, Tim?
Well, Rayman, we had Origins and Legends. Like
that's true.
And those were after Rabbids. Like, and a return to. I mean, undeniably, those are the best Rayman games ever made.
Oh yeah.
So. Never get him again.
One day. Weren't they like working on a 3D Rayman or something?
Well, that's the rumors, but that team was the Prince of Persia.
Right.
Yeah, I think Rayman has the potential to come back as a 3D platformer again and like do something cool. Because Rayman 2, The Great Escape, was at a certain point like one of the best 3D platformers there was. So good.
That's one that I have fond memories of as a kid, but like have never gone back to as an adult.
That was a rental for me. Like I beat it, but I loved it. But yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
But that was like top tier code.
Yeah. The problem is I remember it. It was best on Dreamcast, and I didn't have a Dreamcast, so I always felt like I was playing exactly. Alfredo did, which was crazy. But yeah, I felt like I was getting like the not great experience of it.
Yeah.
And as a kid that grew up with Tony Hawk 1 on the N64, the moment I realized that the consoles actually had benefits, and I'm like, you're telling me that the PlayStation version actually has the full versions of songs, not 45-second loops? What?
Yeah, we need to bring back Rayman. We need to bring back the long lost Ubisoft franchise that was just, hey, how many times can we do Rayman without people noticing? And that was Tonic Trouble. Bring back Tonic.
Yeah, dude, Tonic goddamn Trouble, dude.
That was another favorite of mine. That is the definition, I would say, of a cousin game.
Oh yeah.
I think no, we have one more. I would say let's do this. Let's try to get to this boss.
Yeah. Here there was Tonic Trouble, Rocket Robot on Wheels, Glover. You know what I mean?
Glover was Ubisoft?
Or, no. I'm just saying N64, like the platformers that were there.
Yeah.
Sure were there.
Yeah, Tonic Trouble, I think Tonic Trouble was the one that I played before Rayman even. So it was like funny of like all of the same things are there, like all of their hands and shit are not attached by limbs. They're like kind of floating and shit. I remember that game's message was like just very like, hey, littering is bad. Kids.
Yeah.
God, I got down on Tonic Trouble. Yeah, like just the vibe of that game too is just special back in the day. Like the way you entered that, like the first level was just like you coming down from space and, oh God, just like sledding down to like the hub world.
Yeah.
And it was like, this is such a weird way to start this game.
Yeah.
But it's, I don't know, there's a charm to it.
For sure. Rayman in the chat says, Rayman's bigger than Sly Cooper and Jack and Daxter. No bias. I mean, I don't think you're wrong, but I mean, like that. I don't think that's a crazy thing to say. Like, Rayman's been around for so long, has had multiple types of games that were critically and sales successful, and at the end of the day, Rayman's been around longer.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of things are bigger than Sly Cooper, let's be real.
Yeah, exactly.
That's one I want to get back to. I remember that was one I didn't play a lot as a kid. Like that wasn't not one I owned. That would be one that I would play at like friends' houses and shit. And I remember trying it, God, like more than a decade ago. I remember I was living down in San Jose, so this was like 2014, 2015, and actually trying out like the streamable, like, I forget if it was like you could play Sly Cooper through like PS3 streaming or something on the PS4. I don't know. It was very weird. It was very early on of like the PS Plus days and shit. And I played like an hour of Sly Cooper, and I was like, this is fine. But I feel, there's something in me that tells me, like, hey, if you tried it now, you might fuck with it.
You'll appreciate it, yeah. Yeah, I was saying this earlier, but the PS2 generation, the one that spoke to me most was Ratchet, and I was very well fed.
Yeah. Yeah, Ratchet was one that I didn't really play any of until the remake.
Yeah.
Ratchet was one like I would play at like demo kiosks at Toys R Us and shit.
Yeah.
And I would always think like, oh, this is cool, but it never stood out to me of like, Mom, I need to buy this game or something, you know?
Yeah, Ratchet & Clank was a funny one to me because in the same way that I was saying like, oh, Naughty Dog made Crash, and I love Crash, and then, oh, Crash 4, or now they're making Jak and Daxter, I don't care about this. Insomniac making Spyro. And then eventually I was like, oh wait, what are they doing next? And eventually we got Ratchet, and I'm like, I didn't really fuck with Spyro that much, so I was happy, and I remember like seeing it in like Electronic Gaming Monthly, like everyone hyping up Ratchet for what it was. And they were like, oh, if you didn't vibe with Jak and Daxter and whatever, this might be for you. And I'm like, that's gonna be for me. And I remember seeing a commercial for it, and it was one of those first games for me where I'm like, that looks like a Pixar movie. Like, oh my God, how is that? How are the graphics this good? And then I remember going to Blockbuster, and it was just there to buy. It was $40, which was like, it was, for some reason, it was like cheaper than other PS2 games. And it was like the day it came out. And I just didn't realize. I thought it was like so much further. And like, I remember begging my mom, like, $40, that was insane. But I was like, instead of renting anything, can we please just buy this? And she somehow said yes. And
hell yeah.
God, that was awesome. Like, can you imagine just a unplanned video game purchase?
Back in the day?
Like,
I think I was able to do it once. And I think it was Thug 2.
That's awesome.
I somehow convinced my mom to buy.
The first one I ever
like
did,
on the spot.
I convinced her to buy Mario Paint,
wow.
which was crazy because that was not a budget title because it came with the mouse, so it was
more
that's expensive.
A whole thing.
But she was convinced it was educational.
Fuck yeah.
Parents love education.
Love that education.
Oh God. Oh, I slowed on that. So.
But I think you would really love Spy 2 and 4. Maybe one day. Yeah, PlayStation Now. That's what it was. Console gamers.
Oh yeah, PlayStation Now.
Way back in the day. Yeah, and it was like really weird too, because it was like you were like kind of logging into a PS3 online and shit, and you could only like your gaming sessions could only be like so long or something like that. I remember, or it's like you could do a free trial for for like games, but you could only play them for like a certain amount of hours. And I remember like playing through Batman Arkham Asylum, and I think I could play through it before like the time ran out or whatever. Oh man.
I mean, it's wild that like, I mean, that's the technology that is now what I'm always praising. Like GeForce Now, that's exactly what it is.
Crazy.
You are using a separate person's computer.
Yeah.
Not person. This is not real.
Played Red Dead Redemption 1 on PS Now, and it was the worst gaming experience of my life, says Tyler's New Group. I think I also did Red Dead 1 on PlayStation Now. Back when I was at IGN, I remember it was like, or maybe it wasn't PlayStation Now. I remember I had to play through Red Dead 1. It was early on at my time at IGN. And for some reason, not for some reason, it was like my first week at IGN, both Nintendo Switch 1 was announced and the like initial trailer for Red Dead Redemption 2 came out. So we were like planning a video feature for Red Dead, and I had to capture a bunch of footage for Red Dead 1. For some reason, I'm remembering like we did it on PlayStation Now for some reason, I think. Or maybe it was like, no, you know what it was? We had a PS3 at the office, and I think I brought that back home to like play over the weekend or some shit. Yeah, PlayStation Now back in the day especially was rough.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. That
I mean, they were so early.
Yeah.
Like,
I believe in us, Tim. We can do this.
we could do this.
But this was my experience. This felt like my experience playing through this for this video. It was just like,
Yeah.
all right, we're gonna do these races over and over and over again. They should remake the epic Breath of the Wild trailer using like the new updated, the new Switch 2 update.
Oh,
Someone
that'd be
should
fun.
make it. Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah.
That's not kind of content that we would make here to kind of funny, but if anybody from IGN is watching, that'd be a really good. That'd be a really good trailer right there, or video.
A well-timed, invincible thing is just like, let's go. You get the speed boost, you get
You
the
fuck
head,
them over,
and you
yep.
fuck them all up.
Yep. Ah, damn it. No! Tough.
Yeah, it's crazy with the cloud stuff because I'm lucky that at home I have 1 gig up and down, and that pretty much means that it runs perfectly for me. But at the studio, we unfortunately don't have as good. I think it is still 1 gig up and down, but I wish it was better for where we're at and what we do. But we're working on that. But it's not us. It's more just like infrastructure because we're not technically in the best spot for like. There's not any fiber services around here.
Right.
So. The crazy thing, though, is this freaking, I'm blanking on the name, but the new internet, the satellite internet, that's related to the SpaceX stuff.
Oh yeah, the Elon shit.
Yeah, which obviously sucks, but the text here, god damn it, somebody tell me what the name of it is. Starlink. Thank you, Drago. It is so incredibly promising for just like internet everywhere, and getting Wi-Fi capable speeds like on planes and stuff. I truly believe we're like a year away from people being able to do GeForce Now like
on an
airplane.
That's
like,
crazy.
Yeah, they're rolling it out to all United flights over the course of this year.
That's crazy.
For free, totally free for everybody.
There we go. No! I wanted you to go backwards, not forwards. Fuck.
Hoppin says they're installing 8,000 down fiber in my neighborhood. Internet speeds are getting insane. Dude, that's fucking crazy, man. Fuck yeah. Let's go. Woo.
It's a good theme.
It is, man.
I think this and Warp's theme. Like I go back and forth.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was them. They'd got to that point. They're like, okay, we're now having fun. We're doing some variations on this stuff. Slushy says a year away, no way, and Zach says, yeah, he's crazy. Yeah, maybe not. It won't be flawless, but I do think it's going to work. Like, I think I'll be able to play many games very well in perfect quality on a flight, which is like
insane.
Yeah.
Remember, it was like back in the day of like you can't have any technology that turns on or the fucking
exactly. And well, the big thing about this is it's gate to gate, so it's like literally you don't need to wait to get 10,000 feet in the air. It's just available. Our guy's back.
Hell yeah. Ripperoo.
I love, like, they're stupid, but I love the boss fights in this game where they each just have an item that they spam at you.
Yeah. It's infuriating. I'm gonna give this one to you. Having your internet controlled by the whims of a rich fuckboy with a ketamine addiction sucks.
It really does. It really fucking does.
And a lot of other aspects of our lives. It all sucks. Yeah, I remember, I forget, who's like the cool gangster boss in this?
Oh yeah, Pinstripe.
Pinstripe, yeah. I remember his boss race in this game fucking infuriated me. Like, I think there's something here with the boss races, but the way that they're designed, it's like just frustrating enough that it's like, it feels like you have to kind of rely on like just the randomness of what items you're getting to get a leg up on them. That's like, I don't quite love. Because I do think there's something interesting here of like, okay, each boss is gonna teach you how to like deal with a certain item in like in a more like controlled way, which I do think is cool, but
I can't get over trying to drift like Mario Kart and then do the hit the button thing.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's one or the other.
Yep. Hey Barrett, when would you give Starfield another chance? It's really not a bad game. No, it is a bad game. I'm sure like whatever it's been updated to now is cool for people who like are more inclined to enjoy that style of game. That style of game is already something that I'm not super prone to enjoying, and you know, I stuck with Starfield to the end, just because I was kind of fascinated to see where the story would eventually go.
Oh my God!
Fuck off, Ripperoo. You got another one though.
Oh,
God. I'm just not interested in going back to that world, but I'm happy for the people who are happy today. Because yeah, I'm not the biggest Bethesda Studios guy. I fuck with other Bethesda games though. Wolfenstein?
No! You fucker!
Oh no!
No!
Tim, no!
Oh my God, I thought I had it there. Fuck.
Hold on, let me...
Damn it!
I gotta get this bot.
I was about to get botted.
Right as you left the games cast for Mario Kart, the Mario Kart review on Friday, we got just spammed with so many Bitcoin bots.
Oh, yeah.
In chat, it was crazy. God. Kind of convenient that you left and then all of a sudden
I know.
happening.
Maybe it was me.
Oh wait, this one. Let's see. Let's go to chat. What about Indie Barrett? Oh, I fucking love Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. What a great game. Yeah, that was rough luck at the end there.
Yeah.
I think Tim would love Pipistrello.
I need to give it a shot.
I played like the first hour. It wasn't quite grabbing me, but I'm just like in a weird video game funk right now. I'm just like kind of just like going through a fog of going back and forth between games. I do want to eventually go back to it because I do find the characters very charming, and there is something about that kind of like more Game Boy Advance, like super blocky pixel art style that I do really love.
Yeah, I've been in a similar place of like getting frustrated with the 3-star knockout tour stuff. I'm just like, what am I gonna play?
Yeah.
And last night I booted up Pikmin 1.
Really?
I've never really played Pikmin games that much, so I'm like, it's the one. Nintendo won't give up on this franchise. Lakers Head won't give up on it. Maybe I should too. You know what I mean?
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Oh, what?
What happened?
Another box. I like Pikmin on GameCube. Never played the newer ones. People really like those newer ones. I know. I think Mike really liked.
Yeah, he liked 4. Oh, what?
Shaw, did Splatoon get any Switch 2 updates? Like, does it run smoother or anything on Switch 2?
I don't think it did. Maybe Splatoon 3. Right.
Oh, that's why I meant Splatoon 3.
Oh,
Did I say 2?
Yeah. No. That was as close as we could get.
Yeah, damn. Less than a half second away. That's crazy. Loads faster, no Switch. Loads faster, so Switch 1 got some downgrades to load faster. Interesting. Higher resolution, better frame rate, says Casey. So they had to like make the Switch 1 version of Splatoon 3 like maybe look a little bit worse, so it could keep up with like the.
Is that right? I don't think the Splatoon games got any of the upgrades. Maybe I'm wrong, but I know like every Switch 1 game just runs better.
Yeah.
God, I've been bopping back into Odyssey.
Oh yeah, that's one I have not booted up again.
You definitely should, man. It's
because that's not like a $10 upgrade or anything. That's like a free like.
Yeah, it's free, but I mean, it gives you everything you want. Like,
oh yeah.
The game already ran great, but now it's just the resolution bump is just so much nicer. The HDR is incredible.
Hell yeah.
You gotta beat this fucker before we go.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We can't. The stream does not end until. The rubber banding is crazy though. Like he keeps up with you consistently.
Yeah. I mean, it's like made that way. It's
Yeah.
fucking horrible. Raj says, man, the Switch 2 backwards compatibility. Sorry. The Switch 2 backwards compat is the best of all consoles according to Digital Foundry, since it uses the GPU and extra processing power and better speeds to enhance games. Yeah, watching all the.
Oh, that was my own that I left in the last lap too. I fucked myself, Tim.
Oh man, it's okay. You're right there with
No.
me. Oh no.
Okay.
Damn, that was a nice boost.
That's crazy.
Oh, you got him.
No, get him.
Oh my God,
Ooh.
This is it. Oh.
Come on, get that drift. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Let's go.
Less than half a second.
Oh, that's so awesome. That's awesome.
That feels good.
It's been great watching the Digital Foundry videos, like them learning about all this stuff. It's like, man, I think when the devs are gonna have proper time with Switch 2, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be legit.
Yeah, I'm excited for devs to get more like, like to get the slow rollout. It is weird that we're gonna have to like wait a little bit.
Yeah.
So these dev kits can go out and shit.
Like, this rocks. It's dumb, but it rocks.
It's so dumb, but it's so good. Anyways, thank y'all so much for joining us for part 1 of Naughty Dog Week here on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames and twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. For our gameplay streams, we are leading up to my new video essay coming out this Friday exclusively on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames, titled, I Replayed Every Naughty Dog Game. And we're doing a week of gameplay streams to build up to it. Today was Crash Bandicoot. Tomorrow, Blessing will be joining me to have him play Jak and Daxter the Precursor Legacy for the very first time. On Wednesday, I will be joined by one Greg Miller playing the first couple of hours of Uncharted 2, reminiscing about that series. Thursday, I will not be here because I'm going to go watch a baseball game. So Mike and Nick are going to play The Last of Us Part 2. I believe some of that roguelike mode.
Cool.
Yeah,
that'll be fun.
Nick has already played Last of Us Part 2. Mike has already played the first few hours of The Last of Us Part 2, and that's all they're going to be able to do on the stream anyway. So I think,
smart.
Yeah, so I think diving deeper more into the gameplay side of Last of Us Part 2 will be fun for them on Thursday, which all culminates in Friday for the video essay releasing during your usual Gamescast time on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. What is the stream on Friday? Nothing to do with Naughty Dog, but I think we're gonna wait to tell people what that is on a Friday stream. I don't know if like.
I don't know exactly where we're at, but yeah.
But it will
fun
be
stuff.
It will be fun stuff though. Anyways, thank y'all so much. We will be back tomorrow with more Games Daily, Gamescast, and all of your regularly scheduled programming. But until then, it has been our pleasure to serve you.